Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to FNUTL. This is week 8 of our broadcast. Was a good night of football, and here is Russ.
Thank you, Chris. Hard to believe, week 8. It means we're halfway there.
Well,
a little over halfway there.
A little over halfway there, and it seems like we just got started.
It does. I mean,
and unfortunately, the autumn weather did not arrive tonight.
No, it was still 79 when I walked in here tonight.
Oh, we're going to be mowing the grass in Thanksgiving again this year.
Y'all go ahead and eat. I got to go cut the grass. Oh, my gosh. A lot of key games tonight that may or may not have playoff implication, but may decide who does. You know, I mean, there's a lot of jockeying going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're chasing down some scores, but we've got a few. So.
Well, we want to remind everyone that you can jump on with us tonight if you like. If you'll go to 877 MPB Ring, you can get on the show and maybe tell us about your ball game tonight. A lot of homecomings around. Prep had theirs, and crowned a queen, and all the pageantry of high school football.
Yeah.
So, all right, what you got?
Well, let me give you a few Thursday night scores of interest. Ridgeland defeated Callaway Thursday night 48-15. Hattiesburg, we talked about them last week that their away games are always on Thursday.
Yeah.
But they came back this way last night and beat Forest Hill 35-6.
You know they were behind in that game?
I did not know that.
Mike Pearson's going to be on to tell us about it, but they were actually behind in that game.
Not for long, apparently. No. Okay. Lanier is undefeated. They are 8-0. They defeated Holmes County Central, who's got a pretty good team. Lanier won last night 38-22.
You remember when we had their coach on last year?
We sure did.
And he was undefeated there, too.
Yeah.
And they lost in the first round.
Right.
But it was a great story, and he's doing it again.
And they're undefeated. I mean, they're 8-0. That's pretty impressive, and that's in 5A football. Some scores for tonight. Shannon defeated Amory 44-7. It was Calhoun City beating Okolona 46-7. Cathedral shut out West Lincoln 49-0. Starkville defeated Clinton 28-7. That game was a little closer than that might sound. Clinton had a lot of turnovers in that game.
Is it up there?
Oh, yeah, it was in Starkville. But it was, it was a 21-7, in the fourth quarter. Starkville ended up winning 28-7. Prep, no trouble tonight, beating Copiah at home 35-3. It was East Rankin getting a win over Puckett 40-14. Forest defeated Raymond 28-6. Picayune beat Hancock. Now, this was a high-scoring game. Picayune ends up winning 59-28 was the final there. Hartfield, you mentioned them. Hartfield defeated Heritage tonight on the road 49-21 was the final. Leake Academy over Riverfield 18-8. Louisville, no trouble with beating Gentry 44-6. Madison Central had no trouble with Murrah 45-14 was the final there. Raleigh over McGee 35-6. Boonville over Mantachie 35-28. Macomb is 7-1 now. They defeated Lawrence County 42-7. Grenada also now 6-1. They defeated Olive Branch soundly tonight 48-6 was the final there. South Panola won. They beat Saltillo 52-26. And let's see, one more that I have. Columbia remains undefeated. They defeated a good Tylertown team tonight 54-24. So Columbia's
Coach Bilderback just continues to win.
They are 8-0 also, so they're having quite a good season. And one thing, Will does this spreadsheet, and it's just it is truly
plethora of information.
Truly a work of art. I printed this out at work today, and we got a color printer.
I was going to say, do you have any colors?
No, we had a color printer, and one of the girls that works with us, I printed this thing out, and she picked it off the printer. She says, "Man, that's beautiful." That's beautiful.
Will. He's an artist. He doesn't even know it.
He doesn't even know it, yeah. But going into tonight, there were 12 undefeated teams left playing tonight. 2 in the MAIS, 10 in the MHSAA, and there were 20 winless teams.
Really?
Yes. Hard
we
to
hadn't had that
believe.
many in a long time.
No, not this deep in the year.
Uh-uh.
But anyway, I thought that was
Who are
kind of
the
interesting.
two undefeateds in the MAIS? Nobody
you
in
know,
6A.
I would have to research that. I don't know. He didn't list the two.
He just gave you the number.
Well, I tell you who one of them was Park Lane, who was playing MRA tonight.
Yeah, well, they're not.
Now, I don't
undefeated.
think they're undefeated anymore. That would have been one of the two.
Yeah, it would have.
Anyway, I can research. We'll figure that out.
I
He'll probably text that in just the next minute. Or
Yeah, he
two.
probably will. He's on it. He's on
He's
it.
on it.
Well, and another guy, you're talking about the league game tonight, and Tri-County, played tonight, but their game is next week because they play each other.
Oh yeah, that's
and,
right. Where is that game?
I think
it's at Tri-County?
I think it's at Tri-County.
Yeah.
Cliff's on the phone. Let's
Yeah.
go to Cliff.
Okay.
Cliff, we want to talk about tonight's game, obviously, but where is that game next week?
Y'all reported 18-8. It was actually 45-16 leak.
Oh well,
Yeah.
What's a
Close-
few touchdowns
close.
between friends?
45-16. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So where's that
Yeah,
game next week?
It is at Tri-County.
You
Yeah,
better,
we talked about that in the post game tonight, about how that is one advantage that Tri-County has, but Lord have mercy, Leake's got a kid named George Wilcox.
Yep.
And, that defense is going to be ready next week for Tri-County.
well, and Cliff, from my standpoint, I think they will be because I've seen them, and I think they're very, very good. They've got some good athletes back there in that secondary, and we'll talk about that after we talk about tonight's game. Obviously, just another night at the office for you guys tonight.
Yeah, well, it was the Central Hines team was a much improved Cougars team from over in Raymond. They had 3 losses on the season, but 3 losses against competition that was above their division. But the Rebels came in and took care of business tonight. And, the reigning Blitz 16 player of the week was Cooper Johnson this week, the quarterback from Tri-County.
Good for him.
Yeah, and we had 2 one-play drives, a 69-yard touchdown pass and a 50-yard touchdown pass. It was 42-0 at halftime, and ended up being final score 50-0 in the ball game tonight at Tri-County.
Wow.
50-0.
50-0.
Yeah, 50-0 Tri-County over
Wow.
Central.
Do you know, Cliff, how many offensive yards the other team had?
They had a couple of drives in the second half where they made some hay. I think they had 2 first downs in the first half, and I did not add up my drive sheets, but I would suspect less than 25 yards in the first half.
Ooh. All right. Now that gets you, and we're going to be talking, Philip, a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah,
George.
Philip and I are always texting during the game. We keep each other posted. We've been looking forward to this next week.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do think that playing at Tri-County is going to be an advantage, but now you're going to have to take care of business with George Wilcox.
Yeah, well, it was my partner on Friday night, Spence Shepard, and I have been joking for the last 3 weeks that we felt like, and tonight, we felt like a weight was lifted off our shoulders because we could finally look ahead to the league game without feeling like we were overlooking anybody because it's been the elephant in the room. It's all we want to talk about is league, but you don't want to get caught in a trap game.
Right.
And the Rebels they've managed not to get caught in any trap games. They've taken care of business, and now it's going to be Tri-County League. But I want to throw a little wrench into this whole thing. If you look at PowerPoints going into the night, Tri-County and Leak is number 2 in PowerPoints. Tri-County is 3. The surprise of the year is you talked about Columbia High School.
Yeah.
Columbia Academy's got some athletes down there too with Joey Hawkins. They're number 1 in the PowerPoints.
How about that? Joey Hawkins doing a great job down there.
Yeah, so there's some players in both the MHSAA and MAIS down there in Columbia because Columbia's had a heck of a year. I think it's year 2 with Hawkins. I think down there maybe.
Yes, it is.
But I mean, he's got his Columbia team number 1 in the PowerPoints. Of course, going into tonight, we'll see what happens after the points tonight. But right now, it's looking like I think when I did my math this week, it was Columbia, Leak, Tri-County, and then, believe it or not, Washington School is number 4 in the PowerPoints.
How about that? Let me ask you something, Cliff. Do you think that the PowerPoint situation is leveling the playing field for teams that may have gotten left out of the playoffs?
Well, I'm torn about this. I'm torn because I did some looking this week, and just because of the big bump you get for playing one of the Big Four, you've got a lot of schools with a record much worse than a school that is ranked below them. And am I saying this the right word?
Yeah.
Where it's making sense?
Right.
You've got a team with multiple losses that's higher in power points than some teams that are a one-loss team. So it's kind of weighted because it all comes down to strength of schedule.
Yeah.
But it changes the deeper you get into the season because you get all those points for wins of opponents. So power points halfway through the season look much different than what they will after these final 3 weeks are calculated in, just due to wins and losses having such a weight in the PowerPoint system. So I like the system, but it is far from perfect. It's far from perfect, but I do like the system.
Well, and I'm hearing that, after they get through this year, they may turn the screw to the right or the left, to make it the best it can be. It's been an interesting year, and but I'll tell you, this game coming up next week, I think both you and Philip may want to both come in here and do this.
Yeah, well, you know what we need to do? You need to get Philip and I in there at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's what we need to do. Yeah, but the big thing about next week, and I know I'm keeping you guys too long tonight, but the big thing to me next week, I think all eyes will be on that game in Florida as far as 3A goes.
Right.
And I think what's going to decide the game, in my opinion, is if Tri-County's defensive front can get pressure on Wilcox and move him off his spot. If they can affect him in the pocket, I think that'll be the difference in the ball game. If they're not able to do that, it's going to be a struggle for the Rebels because Wilcox is the real deal.
He is. Cliff, thanks so much, my man, and we will be talking. Both you and Philip are invited, so, it's going to be a heck of a ball game, and if I was anyone in that area, I'd be getting my ticket now. Thanks, Cliff.
We'll see if we can have a party next week. We'll see if we can work it out.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, fellas.
All right.
Florida's not very far from here.
No,
Not really.
20 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
yeah.
49, down
There you
49. That's going to be a heck of a ball game, though, and this is the time of year when you get into those games.
Yeah, and I was really interested. We've heard, we've had Joseph Craven and several others talk about the PowerPoint system, and it kind of reminds me of at Rotary this week we had a lady that was talking, giving a presentation on Bitcoin.
Oh.
It made about as much sense to me. But anyway, I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, and it may take a little tweaking as time goes on.
A lot of tweaking for me.
Anyway.
But,
it gives you something to talk about, though, that's for sure.
It does. It does. And look, if you want to jump on tonight and talk, we're going to have Sugar Ray Coleman going to be in on the next segment along with Brandon Davis, who is with Warren Central. But we can get calls in. We can get scores in. Would love to hear from everybody tonight. We got a full crew tonight of folks that are going to want to call. I want to hear about that Picayune game. That sounded wild.
Yeah, and here's another wild game. Poplarville defeated South Pike 62-24. That's your kind of game right there.
Love points.
Yeah, and West Jones over Terry 28-19. Moss Point, Pass Christian shut out Moss Point 49-0.
Ooh, when that's happened.
I don't know.
I know Ocean Springs. Ainsley Britt's going to be along in the second hour tonight to give us the skinny on the Gulf Coast. And Ocean Springs is going to be talked about because they're having a great year. Hey, tonight's show is being made possible by the folks at Cricket Wireless, and all the information you need to know is at cricketwireless.com, and they will be bringing you the Crazy Eights at 11:30, so you don't want to miss that. Stick around. More of Friday Night Under the Lights in a moment.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more. If the money's yours, you should have it. That's why State Treasurer David McRae has returned a record $80 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians, and there's hundreds of millions more, maybe with your name on it. Check the list. Visit www.treasury.ms.gov and see if you have any of the unclaimed money. Each year, banks, utilities, businesses, brokers, and insurance companies turn over millions of dollars to the state because they're not sure who is entitled to the funds. Treasurer McRae has an entire unclaimed money staff waiting to take your claim and return your money. Check the list today. Treasury.ms.gov.
Informative MPB news stories, up-to-date severe weather info, and the state and worldwide reach telling the story of Mississippi on MPB Think Radio.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson along with George Broadstreet. Chris Saxton is our producer tonight. Ty Bailey is on the phone. Marissa Bond is here from MPB Think Radio, which is heard all over the state of Mississippi. And, of course, you can go to FNUTL.com. Dr. Dave is hunkered down in a bunker somewhere in Boone, North Carolina. Will the Thrill? I don't know where Will is tonight.
Somewhere.
But, you know, we won't be hearing from Ty Boyles tonight.
Really?
He is on the Gulf Coast. But he said he would be listening, and he wanted me to say, go dogs, hook 'em horns.
Okay.
But I just don't do it.
You don't have the same enthusiasm. Is he like on a trip or something?
He's actually on the beach, I think.
Really?
Fire and everything. It was pretty neat.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Well, let's bring in Sugar Ray Coleman now to talk about those Clinton Arrows. And Ray, this is a team that not only we can't figure out right now, but they may not be able to figure out right now.
Yeah, man, they have all the talent in the world, but it's just it really is a weird thing to watch when you're watching it in real time. So they dominated in between the 20s, and what I mean by that, from 20 to 20, they could do no wrong. But when they got inside the red zone, they turned the ball over. They had 2 blocked kicks, so that's 6 points off the board. One of those kicks were returned for a touchdown. They had 3 interceptions in the game. And, you know, it always came at the worst possible time. When they would get inside the red zone and when they would give the ball back to Starkville. Now, credit to Starkville. They scored in 3 different phases, offense, defense, and special teams, that final score being 28-7. But Clinton won the game in terms of total yardage, if that's something that you want to hang your hat on. You know what I mean? So this team, they have the ability, is basically what I'm saying. They have all the tools to put up points and to stop guys from scoring, but you've got to put it all together once you get inside the red zone. And that part they have truly been struggling with this season.
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you, Ray. I got to see 3 of the 5 players from Clinton that went to JA.
Yeah.
And that running back, Beasley, is a beast. I mean, I can't tell you how, in my opinion, how good this Clinton team would be if he were in that backfield.
Yeah, listen, JA didn't want the players because they were average.
That's true.
They're really good guys, man. They really are. And like I said, I wish the best for those young men over there at JA. Clinton has a really good running back room. So if you can only imagine what that would be like to have those guys in the locker room with the players that are on the team now. The wide receiver talent that we have is really good, but they're young. You know what I mean? So they're learning on the fly. The only problem is it's really hard to learn on the fly when you get into regional play and Region 2-7A. So what I mean by that is you lose to Starkville tonight, we host Oxford next week, and then you play Germantown and Madison to close out the season. You know that 3 wins will get you in the playoffs.
Right.
I've been doing this for 8 years with Clinton. You know 3 wins will get you in. 2 and a tiebreaker will probably do it for you as well. You don't want to have to play the tiebreaker game, though. It's always come down to that for Clinton. And so now you have yourself in that situation. You must go out and play your best ball the rest of the way.
Okay, so what was the score against Starkville tonight?
28-7 was that final.
All right, so what does that – well, you're right. You just say you win 3, you're in.
Yeah, you win 3, you're in. Like, and Clinton already won their first game versus Murrah. This is Starkville's first win. They lost to Germantown last week. Again, we're already getting into that tiebreaker thing. Germantown beat Starkville. Well, Starkville beat Clinton. Let's say Clinton beats Germantown. Like, it already gets murky. And I've just been around long enough to know that it always comes down to that moment at the last game of the season.
Well, you know, on a side note, and I know you've been around in this state a long time, and I didn't know this until Dr. Dave Shows, our IT guys, just sent this information to me. Were you aware that MC Miller, longtime Mississippi high school football coach, passed away?
I did not. That's my first time hearing that. Wow, man, that's a legend.
That is a legend. Over 250 wins.
Yeah, not just a legend from where I'm driving from right now as I'm coming through, Starkville, Louisville area, but just a statewide legend, man. A guy who, for a long time, has been like the gold standard of football here in Mississippi. So that's sad to hear.
Yeah, he was 75 years old, sure, and I got to do a couple of games with him. He always had that toothpick, didn't he?
He did, man. That guy knew more football than he could probably forget more football than I know. So much respect and much thoughts and prayers to the family.
Thank you, Ray. Well, listen, we'll talk to you next week. Good luck with those Arrows next week, and see if you can pick up that second win.
Appreciate you guys, man. We'll talk next week.
All righty, buddy. Thanks.
See you, man.
All right, Warren Central, Brandon Davis. Brandon, you went from the bottom of the report last week to the top of the report this week. Which do you like better?
You still have me following Ray Coleman, of all people.
I like that Clinton-Warren Central connection.
Hey, look, I love Ray. I mean, even though we fight like cats and dogs, Ray and I love each other. But, I feel like I'm following Elvis. It's either Cliff or Ray or, but no, guys, just glad to be with you tonight. Happy Football Friday to all of you.
Absolutely. What was your score first?
36-6, Russ, and that's what I was telling Ty on the phone a second ago. We were up 36-0 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Ooh.
So, so we went in, we had a running clock in the second half, and I got home in enough time for my wife to give me things to do, a honey-do list.
You got home too early, Brandon.
Yeah, I got home way too early. But it was a great night for the Vikings. Nash Morgan broke the all-time school passing record that was held by his Uncle Rob.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, he needed 74 yards. He got a little over 100 before we called the dogs off. But congratulations to him. Josh Morgan, he moves third all-time in Warren County for a number of wins. He was tied. Now he's third. So a good night for the boys in the Red Hats. Our fullback, Fred Mixon, actually scored 2 touchdowns tonight. So you're talking about throwing a dog a bone twice. So for a fullback, but no, a good win tonight, 36-6. I do want to say on this Greenville squad, I think they really have it going in the right direction. George Richardson now being there coaching. I know that they lost tonight, but previously they had only won 4 games total his first 2 seasons. They came in tonight 4-2, and they fought the entire night. Russ, I really admired that about them. Didn't quit. So, hopefully with the athletes they have up there, if they can get some consistency with coaching,
yep.
I think Greenville's going to be in a good spot. But congratulations to Coach Richardson for the job he's doing up there with the Hornets.
All right, Brandon, next week, where for the Vikings?
Hey, we're going into Neshoba Central. So it's going to be like Jerry Reed said, eastbound and down. So we're going to take the ride east and see what's going on in Philadelphia.
Sounds good, my friend. I better cut you loose because I'm sure you've got other things to do tonight.
Yeah, you're so kind, Russ. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Brandon. We'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Hey, take care, gentlemen.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you got some scores for
I
hit the
do.
break?
Brookhaven defeated Summerall 21-9. Florence defeated Cleveland Central 21-18 was the final there. D'Iberville a 46-10 winner over St. Martin. Horn Lake defeated DeSoto Central 35-20. Taylorsville 42, Enterprise Clark 12. It was, well, we mentioned that one just a minute ago. Warren Central winning over Greenville 36-6. South Haven an easy winner over Lewisburg 31-7. Let's see. You mentioned this one earlier. Petal, for the score I have, Petal goes to Brandon and wins 27-21, and that's the score I have. So I'm sure we'll get a report on that one.
Harold called me or texted. He called me on the way in to the show.
He did?
I don't think he was walking on the ground.
No, probably not. Mendenhall 49, Richland 13. I hope Harold's safe.
It's rough down 49 sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have as far as new scores right
Well,
now.
we'll be talking with Jake, of course, and we'll be talking with Harold about that. And also, tonight at 11:45, Brandon Shields was also there. So we'll get
that's right.
We'll get kind of a trifecta
A
on
difference of opinion.
that. Oh, it'll be
well, maybe a little different of perspective. Put it that
it'll
way.
be a different perspective. Well, we certainly hope that you want to give us a call tonight and tell us about your team. We got in the next segment, we have, let's see, Joseph Craven, who will talk to us about Hartfield. And let's see, Jared Schatz talk to us about Germantown. Did you have a Germantown score?
I don't, Russ.
Okay, good. We're going to get
I'm
that.
working on it.
Okay.
Germantown and Oxford's big game, so we'll be working on that one.
Well, while we're doing that, I want to remind you that because they are responsible for this show tonight, State Treasurer David McRae has returned more than $150 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians. And, he's going to be here on the 28th. You and I are going to do that live on air. That's more than half of all the unclaimed money returned in the history of Mississippi's unclaimed money program, which started in 1982. I didn't know that either. Mm-hmm. In other words, Treasurer McRae returned money 5 years, for the previous 5 years, more than the last 38 combined.
Wow.
So it's obviously it's going well. And like I say, and he said, 1 in every 7 Mississippians, are you ready for this?
Really?
Has unclaimed money. 1 out of 7. So that means between you and I,
yeah, well,
one of us.
with our luck, I don't know, but it's always worth a shot.
I know he's going to turn to me and go, "All right, Russ, you got $1.48." And I'm going to say, "Well, just give it to the state."
Just don't spend it all in one place. Here's another score: Oak Grove defeated Meridian, doubled up Oak Meridian 42-21.
So have we seen the real Oak Grove?
Well, I mean, Oak Grove's kind of been up and down, but that was a big win for them tonight.
It was. But I probably a bigger win for Petal.
Oh yeah, I mean, if that's true, Petal is now 6-2. That's a district game, a very important district game. So they may surprise a lot of people in the South this year.
I'll tell you what, they might. Well, Harold will be along after 11 to tell us about that one. Jake will be along to tell us about it. So got a lot coming up tonight. Greg Flynn going to be talking about the Pearl Pirates, and Tommy Barnett about JA, and the list just goes on and on. We're glad to have you with us tonight on Friday night under the lights. We will take a time out, and we'll be back.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ and George with you on this Friday night, and glad to have you with. We thought Ty Boyles was not going to call tonight. Ty told me he wasn't going to call tonight, but I guess he found a phone down on the beach somewhere.
You just didn't do it right.
He's got to come in and correct me.
He's got to come.
Was that a fire I saw on the beach tonight, Ty?
Yes. Matter of fact, it's at Beauvoir. We're at Beauvoir. We're doing tomorrow and Sunday Civil War reenacting.
Oh, that's right. You're heavily involved in the war reenactment. And where's that going to be down there?
At Beauvoir, at Jeff Davis's home.
Oh, yeah. Right there on Highway 90.
Yeah.
Well, I am proud of you. That is great. No Crystal Springs game tonight. Have they won one yet?
Nope.
Oh, goodness. And only have 2 more games left.
Yep.
Yep. And who are those with?
Fort Gibson next week. Then the week after that, we play Hazars for the battle for Copiah County on Thursday night before Halloween.
Oh, that ought to be interesting. Well, take us out. We got people we got to talk to. Thanks, Ty.
What?
All right. Who's Texas got tomorrow? I think they got.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're supposed to be the Texas fan.
I know it's an SEC team. That's all I know.
Yeah, good guess.
All right, you got some new scores.
Yes, I do. Let's see. Gulfport defeated West Harrison, I think. Yes, West Harrison, 42-14 was the final there. Also, let's see. I had another one of interest. Yeah, you mentioned this one earlier. MRA at home tonight defeated Park Lane by the score of 49-24. Now, the interesting thing about that is that was Park Lane's first loss. But they beat Prep earlier in the year, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. But
I think it was like 18-7.
Yeah, it was pretty close. It was a low-scoring game. But MRA is now 6-1, or 7-1, actually. And really, I mean, as far as we've talked about this before, but you talk about playing a schedule. They played a schedule.
Oh, brutal.
And to have a 7-1 record is pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think who beat them. I think it was one of the teams out of state, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was one of the schools. I believe it was a school from Tennessee, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was really early, maybe the first game of the year.
First game, on that 0 week, something like that.
I can't remember the name, but it was one of the better schools in Tennessee.
Okay, so MRA picks up a win tonight. I think they're one of the best teams in the state.
Oh yeah, no question about it. I mean, just like we said, the schedule they play, really impressive, and probably that win they had a couple of weeks ago against Baton Rouge Catholic, kind of in just like a big stadium, big-time environment, one of the better schools in Louisiana, and winning that game on the road. That was pretty impressive.
Well, speaking of another impressive school, Joseph Craven handles the play-by-play for the Hartfield Hawks. And I guess, first of all, let me know who you played and what the score was.
First of all, I'm upset you said an impressive school, not an impressive play-by-play commentator, but I'll whatever. That works.
That goes without saying, Joseph. I mean, you wouldn't even be on the show. So that goes without saying. Everybody knows that.
Of course. Yeah. No, Hartfield was up in Columbus tonight, going against Heritage Academy, who was 6-1 coming into tonight. Wins over teams like Capaya, who you saw tonight. Heritage, a very, very talented squad, and it was a good back-and-forth game for a little bit. Hawks pulled away in the second half in particular. Ended up being a 49-21 final score in favor of Hartfield.
And didn't they have 21 points at the half? And you shut them out in the second half.
Right, which is wild because if you've seen any Heritage film or watched them at all this year, you know that they have an electrifying offense.
Yeah.
They got a lot of big-time playmakers. I think all three of their first-half touchdowns were all on plays of 40-plus yards. It was impressive stuff. Really high-powered offense. Yeah, impressive that the Hawks were able to shut them out for an entire half.
Absolutely. Was Braylon Womack back in action?
He is. So he came back against Lamar last week, playing only offense. Tonight he ended up playing on both sides of the ball for a good chunk of the game. Ended up having two unbelievable highlight toe tapping on the sideline catches on offense, and then played some good defense as well. Katie Catchings was the other big name for the Hawks that has been battling injury, and he's been slowly worked back in. Playing a little bit, mostly at linebacker the last week and tonight, but playing a little bit at running back as well. So for the most part, as we get to the end of the regular season, Hartfield is getting the injured players back.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one of the biggest players tonight was a relative unknown player by the name of Luke Wesson, who got hurt in the first game of the season, came back, playing wide receiver, had 2 touchdown receptions tonight.
I really like your quarterback. He's got a good arm and he thinks well.
He does, and this is his first year as the starter in varsity. He was a backup last year. Ethan Elliott, very, very athletic young man as well. There's been multiple times this year he's taken a read option and taken it 50, 60 yards to the house using his legs as well.
Yeah.
But he, in particular, especially having Womack healthy, has really worked on playing the long ball and has had a couple of just picture-perfect deep passes to Womack. So he's starting to find his footing a little bit more as well. Just a junior, so he'll have this year and then he'll have next year as well to kind of build on it. But you can see week by week that he's listening to coaches and listening to the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach is Jackson Prep legend, Pac Toller.
Pac Toller.
Good mentor right there.
That's right. He sure is. I called his games, and he's a fine young man and a really good quarterback. And I'll tell you what, you've got a really good coaching staff over there. So, you and I were talking about today, I don't see any of the Big Four really losing the last 2 games. And so this PowerPoint thing is going to come into play, I'm afraid.
Yes, yeah. So it does seem as though if things go as expected over the next couple of weeks in particular, we'll have, the Metro Big Four will be the 4 that are expected to play for the Division I MAIS for a title. The only real question is there's still a few variations that can happen over the next couple of weeks that might affect some of the seeding.
Yeah, and where they play.
Yes, and that's it. And so it will ultimately, we think it'll probably be an MRA versus JA and a Jackson Prep versus Hartfield, 2 matchups. It kind of just, there's a few things that could shake it up. JA might move up. Hartfield or Jackson Prep may end up hosting, depending on just random variables. So that's the main storyline to look out for. But we expect the Big Four teams to use the next couple of weeks as tune-up weeks and weeks to really prepare for that postseason. And I think you're seeing that out of the teams that are looking at their schedule, looking at their points, and expecting to land in Division II as well.
Thank you, Joseph. We got Jared Schatz on deck for Germantown, but we appreciate you giving us that report, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week, my friend.
Absolutely. You have a great weekend.
Thank you, bro. All right, Jared. We don't have a Germantown score. What was the score?
Oh, boy. Well, I'm glad to break the ice in a terrible way for Maverick Nation. We lose tonight on the road at Oxford, 43-42.
Oh. Oxford is one of the best, I think one of the best teams in the state, and I guess you got a good look at them tonight and will probably agree with me.
Russ, the story just keeps getting better when I get done with this one. So Mavericks go up 21-14 at halftime. They actually get out to a 2-score lead in the second half. Quarterback Drew Dean for Oxford, the talented junior, he just was not on tonight. I don't know if it was the off week of the Chargers. He just could not find himself. It was very inconsistent. So what do? They turn and hand the ball to Knox Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin's son, who comes off the bench, and the young man was absolutely lights out. He led 3 touchdown drives, knotted everything up to send it to overtime. Germantown scores on the opening possession of overtime. They kick the extra point. Well, here comes Oxford. You know the riverboat gambler Chris Cutts.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
They go for 2. I mean, we've been waiting on it all night. We were waiting on the bag of tricks to come out. They go for 2 on a throwback play. Basically there was a flag down. They said it was holding on Germantown. They have a man wide open. He makes the catch. They decline the penalty. This one was heartbreaking. The Mavericks thought they had it won at the end of regulation. We walked in for a touchdown with under 5 seconds left, and they threw a holding call. We missed a field goal at the end of regulation, and it sent us to overtime. And look, Knox Kiffin is the real deal. We'll be calling his name a lot coming up in the controversy in Oxford now as far as we're concerned. He was lights out tonight.
Man, what a game. 43-42?
43-42 in overtime.
All right, what does this do to the Mavericks as far as the conference is concerned?
Well, it's funny you ask. This was the game to really stay atop the District 2 7A standings, to stay in the driver's seat. Both teams with big wins to start off district. The winner of this ballgame was going to move to 2-0. Oxford able to achieve that. The Mavericks with a big win over Starkville. They were looking to go to 2-0. Those are 2 of the powers in this district that this could have really gotten them in the driver's seat. But now Oxford's got a win over Madison Central and Germantown. So I guess looking at the schedule, they've got one, and they've got another one with Starkville at the end of the year. But Oxford clearly the front runner. Germantown's got to find a way to turn the page and beat a Madison Central team at home next week. They've never beaten Madison Central, so they've got to flush this one pretty quickly.
Boy, you're right about that, and of course that's kind of a war over there now between those 2 schools, and justifiably so. So that should be a good one. Jared, thank you so much, brother. We will look forward again to your coverage of the state championship games here on MPB Think Radio.
Absolutely, guys. Coming fast. Appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work as always.
Thank you, sir. Wow, Kiffin, huh?
He's a 10th grader, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because they weren't going to bring him out, I didn't think.
Yeah. How about that?
All right, we're going to take a timeout. You are listening and watching to Friday Night Under the Lights, made possible tonight by the College Savings Program, State Treasurer David McRae. And if I was a grandparent, I am a grandparent.
You are a grandparent.
I would definitely be thinking about that at Christmas time. It's a great gift. We'll take a timeout and be back with more in a moment.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson along with George Broadstreet and our cast of thousands packed inside your radio. Marissa's back here from MPB Think Radio. She's controlling things. And then Ty Bailey back on the telephone taking your calls. Don't forget 11:30, Cricket Wireless presents the Crazy Eights. Barry Caston will be here for that. We've been kind of talking about PowerPoints and the MAIS games, etc. So let's bring in Tommy Barnett. Tommy, just, another night at the office. Really no surprises here.
No, it was a homecoming tonight at the Brickyard for JA, and, really just played a overmanned Madison St. Joe squad. Actually, they scored first, Russ. Took the opening kickoff, scored, I think, in 4 or 5 plays, went straight down the field, and then ran a fake extra point and converted it for 2. And, I was in Oxford last week for the Ole Miss Washington State game, and I was like, well, deja vu.
I've seen this before.
But Jay responded and scored the next 55 points and won 55-8. Of course, I think we had about 4 or 5 starters that didn't even play tonight. Pretty much just not really any bad injuries, just pretty much on shelf until playoff.
Yeah, I agree. And, of course, you and I have talked about this. It wouldn't surprise me if these Power 4 that Joseph was talking about in the metro area won out the rest of the way, because only 2 more games. And then we'll see how that stacks up. In case you're wondering, David Smith just from Prep sent this to me. MRA has 60.75. Prep has 49.875. Hartfield 49.5. Jackson Academy 48.25. So it's going to be really, really tight. And there is room for some movement up and down.
Yeah, there is. Really the big game that we're watching next week that affects, I think, us and Prep. If it's a Tri-County League matchup, that should be a barn burner. And, I really think Jays, unless they just get some extra help, I think they'll probably be locked in at the 4 seed. But, that's why you play the game.
That's right. Well, Tommy, congratulations on the homecoming win. And sounds like y'all just took care of business as everybody thought you would. So we will talk to you next week as we all keep an eye on what's going on in Florida next week.
Y'all have a great weekend.
You too, brother. Thanks so much.
All right, bud.
Bye. Good.
All right, I got a couple of scores. West Point tonight at home. They're really probably arguably the number 1 team in the state right now. They beat Lafayette 48-6 was the final there. And Lafayette's got a pretty good team. They were 4-3 going into that game. But West Point's now 7-0. 48-6 was the final there. And let's see. Let me give you a couple more. Pascagoula defeated Long Beach 47-14. This was a good one. This sounded like a baseball score. Noxubee County defeated Choctaw County 8-7.
Oh my defense!
So, that's very unusual. Don't see many like that anymore. Vicksburg tonight. Vicksburg's having a good season. They're now 5-2. At home, they defeated Provine, who's not really having a very good year.
No.
But 55-6, Vicksburg was a winner. And I don't know if I mentioned this one earlier, but Tupelo on the road tonight beat a good Hernando team 35-17. You know, Tupelo's got one loss, but they're now 7-1.
Yeah.
So
and they get their quarterback back, I think,
sometime
next
later.
week.
Yeah, sometime a little bit later on in the season. West Jones defeated Terry. That was Terry's first loss.
Yeah.
28-19. That was at West Jones. Now, what is that? Is that the Sticks? Is that the
Granny's
TP?
on hold?
Oh, okay.
But that is the Sticks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is Sticks.
The
Okay.
TP was last week.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go to the telephone. I think, Chris, is it Greg up or Granny?
Hey.
Hey, Gregory.
Russell, how are you, my friend?
We are good. You had a good game tonight.
What a phenomenal game. Northwest wins over Pearl 33-29, but man, was that an entertaining second half. The two just had blow after blow. It was touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. They were lighting up the scoreboard so much that they made the clock stop working, which really made the end of the game exciting because nobody knew how much time was left. And Pearl wound up getting a first down on the Northwest 31-yard line, but allegedly the clock was out.
That's your story. You're sticking to it.
Well, you know, they got a first down and nobody blew the whistle, and it should have been at least stop the clock for a first down. But you'll never know because, we don't know because the time was being kept on the field.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that stopped the offenses, both of these offenses, from scoring was the end of the game because these two went toe-to-toe there in the fourth quarter.
But you know what? I mean, this is a Pearl Pirate team that's getting better. They've got their quarterback in place. I'm assuming they've got their running game going.
Well, it is all about the run, Russ. I mean, honestly, it's something we haven't seen from Pearl in years, not since John Perry was here. It is a power running game. It's just very, very impressive. Passing is just barely mixing it in when you want to shake things up, but they will absolutely run you over. Peyton Parks is unbelievable in the backfield coming out from back there, and the offensive line doing a fantastic job. But, hey, I can't say enough about the Northwest Rankin offensive line, too. They're probably the best pass-protecting offensive line I've seen this year.
Wow.
Wow, they're really, really talented.
Well, Devin Cooper does a great job over there, and they're just, it's just tough. Every one of you guys have that schedule that's just brutal before you get into the region, but big game over there tonight. So what's up next?
Pearl Pirates get to travel down to Petal to take on the Panthers, who, maybe they'll be feeling a little too good about themselves after they beat Brandon tonight. So that's what we can hope for, is that they're looking past the Pirates. But you never know.
You never know. That's why they play the games. Gregory, thank you, sir.
You got it, sir. M-I-Z.
K-U-Y.
Bye-bye.
Bye. He was talking about Mizzou, of course. Granny's on the phone.
There you go.
All right, Granny, you there?
Hey, what's up?
Man, where were you? Now, George asked a while ago, is West Jones the Sticks?
West Jones is the Sticks.
There we go.
and South Jones is the TP.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, where were you tonight?
I was in the den tonight. At the Devil's Den. I stayed home and I watched Springer and Richmond tonight. The best game I've seen all year. Hey, Richmond scored on the first play of the game. A 70-yard touchdown run by their running back who scored about 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
All right, now the Stringer running back, this is a battle of running backs. The Stringer running back scored about 4 touchdowns, too. Richmond got up on Stringer 18-6. Stringer come back, made it 28-18 at halftime. And then Stringer took over in the second half. They won it 34-30. Stringer scored their winning touchdown with 2 minutes to go in the ball game and won it 34-30. Great ball.
What a great ball game. That is one. Well, listen, we got to run. We got Jake going to talk about that pedal team that we've been talking about tonight. But we appreciate it, Granny, and we will talk to you from wherever you are next week.
It may be the Den again. I don't know.
That sounds good, Danny. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You too.
All right. All right, Jake Wimberly, voice of the Brandon Bulldogs. Where do I start with this, Jake?
It's tough, Russ. Hey, look, it's just one of those deals. You gotta try to pick yourself up and get back up and keep on going. Look, Petal's really good. They have really turned things around. They've got a defensive front. I'm sure you've seen them or heard about them. And they've got a guy headed to your Texas Longhorns, Russ.
Yes.
I mean, look, he is really good. He is a disruptor. He is a run stopper. I mean, he does it all, and he did it tonight. Really clogging the middle, keeping Tyson Robinson in check. Those run plays between the tackles. He was in Sladen Shack's face all night. And Petal came out and jumped all over Brandon. They returned the opening kick for a touchdown. They've got a young wide receiver, Malcolm Fournette, and he hauled in 5 passes for 130 yards and a touchdown. He had the kickoff return. Brandon dug a hole, 14-0. They were down. They were able to come back and get even on an interception return. But just really, Russ, it's been the story of the year all year. Really, really good defense. Can't really find offense outside of Tyson Robinson. They're averaging 13 points per ball game, and they hit that number again tonight. And it's just it's a head-scratcher in a lot of ways. But, I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team. They just could not pull it together. Now they got to pick it back up and go to Oak Grove next week.
Who won tonight? Oak Grove won tonight.
So, they won big tonight.
Yeah.
Your score was 27-21. Was that right, Jake?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, all right.
All right. Well, good enough, my friend. We will talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks. Well, we're headed to the top of the hour. We'll step aside here and let Chris Saxton do his thing. Friday night, Under the Lights continues in a moment.
Support for MPB comes from MDOT. MDOT has the playbook on the road to game day. The MDOT Traffic mobile app is available in the App Store or Google Play Store. For more information,
One in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search, you'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov. Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt?
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights, made possible tonight by Cricket Wireless. For all the information and find out where their stores, they're all over the state. All of that information is on their website, and you can see where they are and check out what they've got, especially for the holiday season. A lot of good games tonight. Boy, we're hearing some great reports from these people, and some really, really good games.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the lead of the Petal Panthers, I would think, tonight.
Yeah, I would say so. That's probably of the games we've looked at so far, I'd say that's probably the biggest win.
Well, and speaking of that, he's often imitated but never duplicated. That would be Harold, who joins us now on Friday Night Under the Lights. Have your feet hit the ground yet?
Yeah, they've hit the ground, partner.
They've
hit the ground, buddy.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice stadium over in Brandon, isn't it?
It is, guys. That is a fantastic place to go play football.
Yep.
It is just unreal. But just like Jake said in his comments, Tyson was, he would have broke the plane tonight or something. He probably would have got some good yardage and everything. But to really get it going, the opening kickoff was the I think the burner of the game, because Pell takes the opening kickoff, goes, I think it was 97 yards down the field, and scores to open it up. They're up 7-0 right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't Petal have like 3 or 4 D1 commits already?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they do. I think we've got 3 D1 commits. I know we got Corey going to A&M for sure.
Yeah. All right, so back to the ball game. They get the opening kickoff. They run it back. Boy, you talk about setting the table for the rest of the game.
It pretty much, I think, set the table for the rest of the ball game right there. And then it was, just great atmosphere again. I mean, not a lot of Petal people were there. I didn't see, they were there, but, it was just something to really see what happens now. And I'm not, we're tied with Northwest Rankin right now, and got Pearl coming in next week.
Yep.
And then we got Marie, and then we got Northwest Rankin to close it out.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
You got a lot of football left to play.
We got some football.
Yep.
We got some football to play.
Well, Harold, we really appreciate you calling. We got people like crazy on the phone tonight.
We got, you probably loaded, Russ, but I mean, put this into my staff. Everybody is still great. I'm telling you, Russ, it's just fantastic. All the little ones I think they go to Summerall tomorrow, so we won't get to see them again probably till the following week. But I'm going to tell you something. You got 2 grandkids that I love watching, and I mean it, buddy. I forgot to tell you that when I had you on the phone earlier, but those 2 kids are something else to watch.
I tell you, they love it. They love Petal Panther football, and they've got a great program down there. And you're right, they're out of town this week. So I appreciate the compliment. We got to run. We will talk to you next week, because that's a big one.
All right, well, I'll let you.
Thanks, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, let's bring Philip Palmertree in. And, Philip, you and I talked a little bit today, and this kind of another night at the office kind of thing for you guys, but it could have been a trap game.
Yeah, team in Riverfield over in Louisiana that plays smash mouth football at a high level. Leak ran only 8 offensive plays in the first half, but led 18-8 at halftime. So
good grief.
That gives you an idea of kind of quick strike capability, and also the way that the Raiders controlled the clock. But Leak was able to get some distance between them in the second half. George Wilcox went 15 for 19 for about 255 through the air, 4 touchdowns, and he also ran for a touchdown tonight.
He hasn't committed anywhere, has he?
No, he hasn't. He's got a lot of interest from JUCO teams in Mississippi, and I think some particular. Well, anyway, he's got kind of all over the state, and there's some teams around, kind of like Nicholls State, Southeast Louisiana. Some of those schools are very interested in him, so he's still got some decisions to make.
Well, if you were listening to the show, of course, we had Cliff Barker on around 10. You guys have the game next week. Talk about a marquee game. And you've got, tradition-rich Tri-County, and you've got Leak Academy now, which is making their own tradition. But you got, George Wilcox. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. You got a team in Tri-County that's can move it up and down the field, can run it really well and then throw it over your head when you commit to the run, and then Leak's going to spread you out, throw, and then when you take too many guys out of the box, they're going to hit you right up the middle and run. It really should be a barrel of fun.
Well, as I told Cliff, you guys are welcome to come to the studio next Friday night, and if it's a tough loss, you guys can just fight it out here in the studio. We got cameras, we can pick it up.
Sounds good. We'll send the limo to Flora, and we'll get in it.
Yeah, I'll send my personal limo out there for you guys in. If you believe that, I've got some land I'd like to show you. Phil, thanks a lot, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Hey, y'all too. Hey, if folks need to catch us on the Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel next Friday night if you can't be in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's go to Mike Peterson, who, George, you mentioned, it seems like they play every away game on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Mike, it was Thursday night game last night, wasn't it?
It was another Thursday night game last night, the second week in a row. Not happy about playing on Thursday night. It just makes everything not normal, and that may have been the case last night with Hattiesburg, as we were trailing Forest Hill 6-0 with only 4 minutes to go in the first half last night. Got us a touchdown, took the lead 7-6, and then with about 35 seconds to go in the half, got an interception and scored again right before the half. Took a 14-6 lead into the locker room, and then I think Coach Lacey may have had one of his come to Jesus meetings in the first half at halftime last night. But Tigers rolled in the second half last night, put up 21 points and cruised to 35-6 victory, which was a lot harder than the score indicated.
So what does this do as far as the district is concerned for the Tigers? Because you got a tough district.
We do. We're 2-0 in the district now, and play George County at home next week. First time we've been home in a month, and
wow.
George County's been kind of up and down this year. So looking forward to that one, and the Tigers will definitely have to play a lot better next week than they did last night.
Well, it's traveling. You're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. You just don't know from week to week how those travel games are going to affect you.
Exactly right. Teams now, they're a creature of habit, and when you have to pack up everything, do things that you normally do on a Friday, and have to do it on a Thursday, it just makes things out of whack a little bit.
Well, it does, because, if you're a true football guy, you got this on Friday night, and then you got college on Saturday, and then you got pro on Sunday. And when you throw that extra day in there, it just messes everything up.
That's right, and not only the football players, people for like me, too, because I got up this morning thinking it was Saturday, and I had to go to work this morning.
What a bummer.
That's right.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing from you next week after that George County game, and enjoy your weekend. It's finally here.
It is finally here. Y'all have a great weekend, guys.
Thanks, Mike. All right, let's go over some scores. We've got a lot of folks that have just gotten in their cars. Maybe they went out to eat or something, and they're in their cars.
All right, let me give you a few. Brookhaven defeated Summerall tonight 21-9. Calhoun City over Okolona 46-7. Tri-County shut out Central Hines 50-0 was the final. Jackson Prep a 35-3 winner over Copiah. Starkville defeated Clinton tonight 28-7 was the final there. Horn Lake over DeSoto Central 35-20. It was East Rankin defeating Puckett 40-14. Taylorsville over Enterprise Clark 42-12. In overtime, another one of the bigger games of the night at home, Oxford prevails over Germantown 43-42. It was George County winning over Jim Hill 30-6. Biloxi a 31-6 winner over Harrison Central. Picayune a big winner over Hancock 59-28. West Point, mentioned this one earlier, but West Point defeated Lafayette 48-6. It was Jackson Academy rolling over Madison St. Joe at home 55-8. Madison Central beat Murrah 45-14. Louisville, a big winner over Gentry 44-6. Raleigh 35, McGee 6. Boonville over Mantachie 35-28. Macomb is won their 7th game of the year. They beat Lawrence County 42-7. Pass Christian shut out Moss Point 49-0. Northwest Rankin edged Pearl 33-29. It was MRA defeating Park Lane 49-24. Pascagoula 47. Long Beach 14. Petal defeated Brandon at Brandon tonight 27-21. That was an impressive win for sure. Mendenhall 49, Richland 13. Stringer over Richton 34-30. South Panola a 52-26 win over Saltillo. Poplarville 62, South Pike 24. Tupelo over Hernando 35-17. And last but not least, Columbia beat Tylertown tonight 54-24.
Okay, so most teams have a minimum of 2 games left on the schedule. Some have 3 because now we're feeling the effects of that week 0 game.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
a lot of teams have 3 games. Some have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the private schools have 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the MHSAA schools have 3.
Have 3. That's right.
And but we're getting down to that point where, gosh, I mean, every week could decide whether you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, these next couple of games, next couple of weeks are just really critical. And, especially like in 7A, it's, it's a different, one game can make the difference between making the playoffs and not.
I wonder what this does to Brandon tonight, as far as the
I don't
playoffs
know.
are concerned. I should have asked Jake about that.
I don't really know. I don't think it helps them a lot because, just looking here, I think they were 3-3 going into the night, so now they're 3-4. But some of those losses, of course, obviously are district games. But I'm just, we laugh and we talk about Harold, and Harold's so enthusiastic, and man, Harold suffered there for a couple of years.
He did.
Oh,
he really did.
He suffered because week in and week out. But they got their old coach back.
Yep.
And it's kind of like they got they put the band back together, and things they're rolling out the hits one after another. Seems like.
Well, and you knew when Marcus went down there.
Yeah.
You just knew
it would just be a matter of time.
But I think it's.
But it's a great school district.
Yes.
And they're in a great place.
Yep.
Lots of folks, good school, good athletes. It's just a matter of time before they put it together.
And if you go down there on a Saturday morning, like I have, I've got the 2 grandsons that play down there. They start. Mine is 5.
Yeah,
and it's full helmet and tackle and everything.
Well, and he's shaving probably starting next week. I mean, he's a big kid.
I told Coach Bros, I said, "You got one coming, big boy." All right, we're gonna step aside and take a break here and remind you that tonight's show being made possible by the College Savings Program from David McRae, State Treasurer David McRae, and really check that out because it is a wonderful thing. And I tell you, with we talk about my 5 and 6 year old, you can get in at any time,
Yeah.
and you can get, the
earlier the better.
Yes.
Earlier the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check it out. That is the Mississippi College Savings Program. We will take a time out, and when we come back to the phone. Stay with us.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. We are in hour number 2, and up on deck is Caleb Hamill, who I understand was doing the Northeast Jones East Central game, but had his eye on another game while he was calling that one. Good evening, sir.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, hang on. There. Good evening, sir. Yeah.
Good evening, Russ. How are you?
We're good. Now, I know that we don't have a final on that on the game that you were calling Northeast and East Central. Give us a final on that one.
Northeast Jones 21, East Central nothing.
Did that surprise you?
You know, the way it happened, yes. That game was 7-0 for 3 quarters before Northeast was finally able to get a couple more scores to make it out of reach. But that East Central team was one that could move the ball, just would always turn it over or stall out and you get behind the chains on their final little set of downs. And so they turned it over 5 times, not to mention the turnovers on downs. But I've never seen a game like this in which one team was so dominated by time of possession, but came away with the other team winning.
That is strange. I mean, it says, hey, we scored, on big play. Did they get big plays?
You know what? I take it back. I think PCS lost to MRA a couple times where MRA just scored 7 times in 5 seconds. But never know.
There's nothing unusual there. What was the game you were going to keep your eye on?
Well, man, we kept our eyes on all of them. West Jones was able to get Terry, give them their first loss. That one seemed like they had it well in hand. But Laurel, we were watching them against Natchez. That was tight for a while, and Laurel finally gets their first win of the year on homecoming night, no less. But the big surprise of the night, I mean, it has to be 0-6 North Pike taking down undefeated South Jones over there in Summit. And this is a game that, I'll give you more details on this one. South Jones was without their top wide receiver and running back because of being ejected for 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties a couple weeks ago against Long Beach. Had to serve a 2-game suspension. This was the second of those 2. And lucky for South Jones last week, their defense stood tall enough to beat Summerall 6-0. But they come out tonight, and for a back-to-back set of games, failed to score a touchdown. So he'll be back against Brookhaven, but a lot of people wondering, was South looking ahead for that big matchup next week? Maybe a little bit of that, but also one of your top skill players unavailable, hurts you down the stretch. But hats off to North Pike, man. They played like they were certainly not 0-6 on the year. Able to get a big win for them at home.
What was the final there? What was the final?
21-5. And it really happened because they were up 7-5, I believe, at halftime. And then early in the third quarter, got a strip sack of South Jones quarterback Colin Flowers right there at the end zone and recover it for the touchdown. So that really hurt South's chances and put them behind the 8 ball. And then North Pike just puts it out of reach with about 3 minutes to go, putting up the 21st point.
Caleb, you make a great point in the fact that a team that's 0-6 wins a ball game. And, I mean, they could have packed it in.
Well, they certainly could have. I mean, if you look back at it, some of these losses, like Columbia, who hasn't lost to Columbia?
Yeah, really.
Brookhaven, I believe, was a loss they already have.
Having a great year, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely having a great year. And several others, but still, this is a North Pike team that a lot of people had counted out because they just stood and stared at the record for too long and didn't realize, hey, this is a team that's just battle-tested, similar to Laurel. Laurel plays such a gauntlet of a schedule early on in the year, and they finally get that first win. I don't think Natchez was sleeping on Laurel by any means, but it's one of those things where if Laurel ends up making a run to the playoffs, everybody's going to wonder, how did it happen when they were 1-6 and then they end up 4-6, whatever it may be at the end of the regular season. It's all about what happens on the given Friday night when you play the game.
That's right. That's why they play the game. Where are you going to be next week? Do you know?
We're going to be over at Purvis for another Northeast Jones game.
Okay. All right. Well, you enjoy your football weekend, and we appreciate you, Caleb. By the way, I got to tell you, I was talking with some folks down in the Hattiesburg area this week, and they listened to the show, and we were talking about some of the people that are on the show, and they said, this Caleb Hamill, he calls a really good game. And I thought, well, I need to tell Caleb that next time I see him.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Russ.
All right. Well, just keep at it. We appreciate you, brother.
We'll do it.
All righty, man. Bye-bye. All right. We have come to the portion of the show where I think the prettiest sportscaster in the state, Ainsley Brent, joins us now. Good evening,
Well,
ma'am.
I'm honored. Thank you.
You know what? You got to cover the coast down there. Was Ocean Springs playing tonight?
No, this was their bye week.
Okay. Comes kind of late, doesn't it?
It did, but I mean, side note, what I thought was neat, it was their bye week. So last night, the football team actually loaded up the bus and supported their volleyball team at their first state championship. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. That is cool. So what else happened down on the coast tonight? George, are you looking for a score?
Well, no, I was thinking they must have been on the bus a long time. Wasn't the volleyball at Clinton?
Oh, yes. I was. That's where I was this morning, too. So I had a full day.
So you've traveled the globe today.
I sure did, but worth every mile.
That's right. All right. So what happened down on the coast tonight? D'Iberville.
D'Iberville, absolute comeback game. Defeated St. Martin's 46-10. So obviously they were a little upset about losing their first game to Ocean Springs last week. So they got their momentum back into another 3-1 in district. But Gulfport also improved to 3-0 in district, very handily beating West Harrison 42-14. West Harrison's running back, I mean, he was out. Jordan Stapleton, he was out last week and only played select games tonight. So I mean, that's a big loss for them. They're definitely a better team than that.
And so you got a Long Beach. I think they won tonight, didn't they?
They did not. Pascagoula knocked them out 47-14. And their Pascagoula's five-star safety, Talon Wilson, had a pick six in the first offensive play of the game. So
wow, he's a good one, isn't he? He's a good one.
Oh yeah, A&M commit, great guy too. So I love seeing those kind of people succeed.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, so Ocean Springs off tonight. Let me ask you something, Ainsley. Do you think Ocean Springs is good enough to come out of the South this year?
I sure hope so. I mean, they've been knocking on the door for years now at South State. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of playmakers, a young quarterback, but he doesn't look like a sophomore at all. But also Sherrod Whitehead, Solomon Baggett, Ian Harlan. They got a really big tight end that has a few offers, hasn't announced where he's committed to, and just a big old lineman, Jaden Ross, committed to state. I mean, they've got some guys, so this could be their year. I'd love to see it happen.
You know, I had someone telling me that they thought that this Ocean Springs team had a better shot of getting to the championship game than the team about 3 years that had ago that had the quarterback.
Oh, Bray.
Yeah, Bray, yeah.
Wow.
Who is playing at Alabama now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they thought Ocean Springs had enough talent to do that. So
I mean, I guess that was my first year on the coast.
Yeah.
So I don't remember too much because obviously my sports director took priority and claimed every Ocean Springs game. But I do remember them. But no, Bray was incredible. I mean, he played both sides. So I'm trying to think who their other few players were that year. Like I said, I didn't see them often, but I do know this OS team very, very well, and I do think they got as good a shot as they had, especially for the years I've seen them play.
I'll tell you something else. Very, very quietly, keep an eye on the Gulfport Admiral.
Absolutely. 42-14 tonight. Cooper Crosby, he just decommitted from ULL. He has offers from Auburn, offers from Starkville, both in the past 2 weeks. So, I mean, he's going crazy. And really good quarterback, Parker Nettles, transferred in this state this year. They're also a very talented team.
I'd like to get your opinion, Ainsley. We're talking from Ainsley Britt down on the Gulf Coast. When do you think is too early for these kids to commit to go to a college?
These days, I hate the word commit because they never do.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could be a lifelong fan, and as soon as you get an offer from your dream school, you can say yes and stay dialed in. But then, as soon as you see somebody commit, I feel like even more offers come after that. So I guess it just really depends on the personality, you know, and just their commitment and loyalty. But like I said, I mean, your senior year, I think just waiting until offers are on the table, but at the same time, you do want to show that people are taking interest in you too. So, I mean, I see it in both ways for sure.
Well, and another aspect of that is you see a lot of kids making a commitment early so that the recruiting process slows down for them and it doesn't distract them from their school. Well, Ainsley, thank you for staying up with us tonight and letting us know what's going on. And we're going to keep an eye on Ocean Springs.
And keep an eye on Pascal Shan, too. They made history tonight as well with their first district title.
Really? They got a district title down there tonight?
Yes, the first one.
How about that? Good. Well, I'll tell you, there's some good football being played down on the coast.
There sure is. I'm enjoying it.
All right, Ainsley. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye. There is some good football being played down on the coast this year. Looks like you've got more teams.
You know, you look like you've got more good teams than you've had in a while. That's for sure.
They may not all get to the championship games, but they're going to be in line to be in those games.
That's right.
So, have you had any late scores trickle in?
Let's see. I just, again, mentioned some of these that we consider significant. I just think that overtime win, Oxford over Germantown's a great story. 43-42. That's a big win. And then let's see. Let me see if another one I think was significant.
Petal Brandon.
Yeah, Petal Brandon. That does just catch your attention. That Petal has just been kind of like, you know, they just haven't been there the last couple of years, but it looks like they're back now.
Because you know who's back.
I know.
Their head coach is back.
Coaching does make a difference.
Listen,
no question.
That's right. Cricket Wireless presents the Crazy Eight, coming up with Barry Caston. Keep it right here for more Friday Night Under the Lights.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. This segment made possible by Cricket Wireless. For all the information about Cricket Wireless is on cricketwireless.com, and they've got all the ideas that you might want for the holidays coming up. Time now for the Crazy Eights, and we're talking about 8-man football. Barry Caston, who's one of our interns this year. Now, just with a lot of folks that are just maybe finding the show this week, you played 8-man football.
Played it and
coached 8-man football.
Yes,
and
sir.
now you're reporting on 8-man football. Which of those three were the easiest?
The easiest? I got to be reporting. Not gonna lie, no, because I almost said playing, but then I remembered how my dad put us through 2-a-days and the type of stuff we did then compared to what they're doing now, and it's like, no, I would much rather just go at 6:30 or whenever I'm driving to the game instead of the 6 a.m. calls in the middle of July.
Okay.
Although as the coach, those weren't too bad. You know,
No,
you're not doing the running.
coach, that's right. Okay, so you got a lot. JC's out tonight. JC Fox is. So you've got the reins on all of the games, what the scores were,
yes, sir,
and the standings. I'm going to hand it off to you.
All right. So tonight, really, we just had about like 2 games each in the districts. We're getting near it's this week and one more week, and then we got playoffs starting on the 31st.
Because they started earlier this year.
Yes, they started earlier, and then the state championship games are actually going to be on a Wednesday and a Thursday, I believe, trying to jam everything into that 1 week right there at JA. So starting off in District 1 for the Division 1, we had Deer Creek 52, North Sunflower 0. We're going to talk about the Lee, Arkansas score here in just a minute. DeSoto 52, Delta Streets 22. In District 2, we had Benton, who again is back on a little bit of a winning streak. They're coming back around, 34 to Portage Chapel 14. Humphreys 34 to Christ Covenant's 10. Ben's Ford won kind of big tonight, 50 over Central Holmes 21. Newton Silver Bay, I wasn't able to get to that one because of the real job, unfortunately, but Newton handled Silver Bay 52 to 22. Prentice had an open week, but they'll play Silver Bay next week. In District 4, so this is a fun district right here, Russ, because everybody in this district, 3 teams, they're going to the playoffs. Because if they lose to anybody from here on out, it's going to be to one of the 3 teams who have not lost to anybody else. So PowerPoint standing, they're going to go. And tonight, we actually had the closest game of the night was Prairie View Academy 32, Claiborne Academy 26. So a 1-score game right there. Could have been potentially late. The next one was a little bit more of a blowout, though. River Oaks played a non-affiliated school named Canton, not our neighbors up the road. 41 to 11, River Oaks won that score right there to wrap up that district. So everybody in that district's going. They've got one more game, though, to wrap up who's going to be the winner. I think River Oaks is all but got that one locked up. In Division 2 for District 5, again, DeSoto 52, Delta Streets 22, Tunica Academy back-to-back wins, 42 over Marble Academy 26. Now, real quick, I'm going to talk about this Lee, Arkansas game. All right.
I don't think you have enough time.
I promise I'll get it in real quick. All right, because the rest of the games are fairly blowouts,
Okay.
unfortunately. Lee, Arkansas, 80. Delta Academy, 60. 48-22 going in at the half. Lee, Arkansas is up. The second half was just a fireworks show, or gong show, back to back to back. Lee, Arkansas running a heavy set, running straight down the middle. Delta Academy coming back, spreading it out, airing the ball out tonight, just scores back and forth, and both teams scoring 40 in the second half. Defense was just a rumor tonight.
Let me ask you something, Barry, because a lot of people may have the same question. Are the dimensions of the football field the same as for 8-man as they are 11-man?
There's only 2 or 3 schools, Briarfield Academy being one of them, that has changed their dimensions. Tinsall Academy is another one that has changed their dimensions to the 80 by 40 or 45. But everybody else, like 98% of the MSAIS plays on regulation 11-man because that's where it's going to be played at in state. And so that was always the motivation we used for the kids was why would we play on anything other than where we're going to play for the gold trophy.
Well, does that mean they have to cover more area?
Oh, yeah. With the same amount of offensive players, because you got 5 back there, because a quarterback, if he wanted to, he could hand the ball off to a running back and then go run a route and throw it to him. He's still an eligible receiver, so that's 5 with 3 less defenders to cover him.
That's where the
80 to 60 comes in right there. And then on the flip side of that, you've got games like the 32-26 where, you know, that's the beauty of 8-man is when you do have all the right pieces, all of your athletes fit the kind of hybrid mold that they have to do. Like your defensive ends are essentially your outside linebackers and some of your strongest D linemen at the same time. So things like that, whenever that happens, then you get games like the 32-26. You get the really tight competitive ones and not the track meets. Although the track meets are pretty fun to watch too. Yeah. As a coach, they're frustrating. As a offensive coach, you're pretty happy.
Yeah,
you know, I can say from experience. But
let me ask you this: you got a lot of schools listed there. Are most of the 8-mans from the middle of the state up? In other words, how many 8-man teams are on the Gulf Coast or up to say Hattiesburg?
So there was one team on the Gulf Coast. I think they've redistricted Gulf Coast Christian. I think they've redistricted since then. But your primary teams are really going to be in the upper Delta area. Like once you get to Vicksburg on up to hugging the left side of the state and then slowly going up along 61 corridor. A lot of the farm, rural communities is where you're going to find this. Same thing when it extends out into Louisiana, upper Arkansas area as well.
Why they don't have enough players.
That's why they don't have enough players.
What is the enrollment of a school?
Well, for instance, when I was a senior, we had 125 kids K through 12, and that was a record. I graduated with 13 in my class, 4 in the year before me.
Wow.
So, but here's the thing, though, is that, and I don't want it to get lost, like, these kids are just every bit as athletic as anybody coming from a 5 or 6A school.
Right.
I've been blessed to coach 2 or 3 kids that played 8-man and have gone on to the collegiate level to play, and they're out there. They can play. These kids have heart. They may be small in number, but they're not small in heart. That's for sure.
We went, as part of our cricket coverage and the state treasurer coverage last year, went to Wilkinson County Christian.
Yes, WC. I went to school there.
Did you really?
Yeah, I kind of bounced around a lot.
I loved that school.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they had we got them on the field at during the afternoon. They all got a kick out of. They had a young man last year that got a D1 scholarship.
Was it that quarterback?
Yes. He was a good one.
I can't remember.
Jack.
I'd be lying to you if I said his name, but every week I kept seeing it on the Twitter updates and everything else, 4 or 5 touchdowns apiece here and there. And then I think he got bugged with injury, though, going into that state game against Briarfield. You know, and sadly, that's what happens sometimes when you got a Swiss Army knife right there. You'll just kind of get beaten down right there before the end.
So in practice, if you're playing 8-man in practice, do you have 5 down linemen on offense and 5 on defense, or
your average is 3? Now, I never like to play without anything other than 4 unless I was going to my spread set just for quarterback protection, but also because I love the tight end. Everybody forgets the tight end exists out there when all you have to do is have your receiver take a step back. So one thing you will have to do sometimes, though, is go half-man lines in practice. You'll have to go pretty much split the field But what that does is help you strengthen your individual coverages, your individual tackling drills as well too. It's all about how you formulate your practices and set it up as a coach to take the most advantage of the kids that you've got.
I just got a text that Jacob Sessions.
That's right. Yes.
Was the quarterback from last year. I remember him now, and he really did have a great season.
Oh, a phenomenal year. Yeah, they went all the way up to. I mean, that game came down to I think 2 touchdowns near the end, right there, back and forth. And I mean, that kid gutted it out the whole season.
Yeah, it was a good one. All right, now playoff implications for these teams tonight.
Really, it's going to be coming down to the last week, because the last little scores I've got is like Columbus Christian, for example. They're 8-0. They won 68 tonight over Hebron Christian, 68-22. They've locked in their district title. They're going. But at the same time, you've got schools like Tensall Academy. They won big tonight over Heritage Christian, 34-8, and that's going to give them a boost right there. But they go to play WCCA next week as well too.
Down there?
Yes. But the thing about PowerPoints is WCCA is undefeated, so losing to them is
not
the
that
worst
bad.
thing in the world. It's
right.
the worst thing to say as a coach. But really, it's going to come down next week. Next week, we're going to have to crunch the numbers and get the scores in by the time we do Crazy Eights, because it's going to come down to the wire.
What's Tallulah doing this year?
Tallulah won big tonight, actually, over Riverdale, 58-0. They're kind of about 500 right now. They're doing okay. Matt Holman is the headmaster and a former coaching buddy of mine over there. He's coaching defense. I'm not sure who they've got as doing the head reins right now. But they're sitting at about 500 right now. They're looking okay. They're going to have big physical guys over there at Tallulah and some pretty decent little athletes. I just wonder if they got enough depth over there right now to help them push.
I think Ryan Williams is the head coach over there.
Is Ryan? Okay.
Okay. So, anybody else jump out at you playoff-wise?
Playoff-wise, my favorites right now in Division II are going to be DeSoto and Briarfield. I would not be surprised if that's what that comes down to right there for that state championship. I'm going to go ahead and call it a little bit early. And then Division I, honestly, to me, it's still Humphreys and Newton. I kind of foresee a rematch between them. Deer Creek could come back in there. They've been solid all year. They had that one loss to Humphreys right there, and I think they had another upset as well earlier in the year. But for the most part, those two teams have kind of separated themselves as the two big dogs. But watch Deer Creek to get in there at a good 3 or 4 seed maybe and make some noise.
Barry Keston, our voice on Friday night under the lights tonight for the Cricket Wireless Crazy Eights. You'll be off next week. JC will be in.
Yep, we'll just be swapping spots and
all right.
Getting into the playoffs.
As we get to the playoffs, we're going to have both of you in there to cover all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. And have a good weekend. Any college you want to see tomorrow?
Hotty toddy. Ole Miss in Georgia. Let's go.
Oh, where is that game?
At Georgia, 2:30 Athens. At least it's not night game. Like Lane predicted.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about his son at Oxford today?
No, what happened?
He got on the field kind of late and rallied Oxford to beat Germantown.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go, Knox.
He's a sophomore, and he got in there. And
quarterback, right?
Apparently led about 3 touchdown drives or something like that.
Yeah. Jared Schatz was on earlier tonight. Said he's the real deal. He said he's the real deal. That's a great story.
All right, there we go. Got the next starter for a few years.
Have a great weekend, Barry.
You too.
All right. We're going to step aside, take our last time out. Brandon Shields is on deck. Keep it right here. Friday night under the lights continues in a moment.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Fastest 2 hours in sports radio in the state of Mississippi. I mean, it just flies. It just flies. Because we're talking to so many people. We've got scores to get. You got scores to get.
Yeah, let me give you some of the better games of the night. I thought Brookhaven beating Sumrall 21-9. Another big game, Horn Lake defeating DeSoto Central 35-20. The Oxford win over Germantown in overtime, 43-42. That was certainly one worth talking about and mentioning tonight. Northwest Rankin beating Pearl, very competitive game, 33-29 was the final there. Of course, we've mentioned this one, and if we get Brandon on the phone, we're going to talk about the Petal-Brandon game.
Yes.
Petal winning by 6, 27-21. Then let's see. Well, the one that Granny called us about, this is a 1A game, but a great game. Stringer, one his favorite school, Stringer defeated Richton 34-30.
It's a big win for Stringer.
Yeah, a big win. This was maybe the upset of the night. North Pike, who had not won a game, beat previously undefeated South Jones 21-5. Go figure that.
What is the odds of that?
That's pretty remarkable there. And one other that I mentioned or made a note about, Tupelo beating Hernando. Now, Tupelo's 7-1, but got to remember Hernando was 5-1, and they played at home, and Tupelo wins handily by 18 points.
All right, let's go to the telephones where Brandon Shields is standing by, and you saw a good one tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, it was a great high school football game. So it was a good one.
Well, and you were working hard during the summer, gathering all the information about all these teams with Chris Brooks, and everybody may be scratching their head and saying, what's wrong with Brandon? I don't know if there's anything wrong with Brandon. It's just that a lot of schools are playing him tough.
It's, they're struggling to score on offense. I mean, there's no secret. They're struggling, and it feels like on offense they can't get out of their own way. They'll score, they'll make a big play, and then they'll turn around and be like, what the heck's going on? And it's kind of mind-boggling, but I mean, it's kind of hard to explain.
It's certainly not coaching. I mean, you got Lance Pogue over there.
No, it's not coaching. Coaching is not the problem. It's just comes down to executing all that stuff. I mean, It was just Brandon just couldn't get out of their own way. They had, one of their touchdowns was a pick six in the second quarter that tied the game with just over 6 minutes left in the first half. So it's just, when it's like at moments they look like they're in rhythm and they look really good and they look like, okay, where's this been? And then it's the next series, it's a 3-and-out, penalties, quarterback gets sacked a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. And quarterback tonight was getting a lot of pressure, which Petal's defensive line is really, really good.
Oh, they're massive.
And when they're on, they're on. And Corey Wells and Trey Bridges, the two big D tackles Petal has, they were in the backfield a lot.
Which one of those guys is going to University of Texas?
Corey Wells.
Yeah, Corey Wells.
74.
Yeah. Jake said he's a disruptor.
Yeah, he disrupted. He had a sack. He had a sack on second down on Brandon's last drive of the game at midfield. He is a difference maker, to say the least. That is putting it lightly.
Do you think that Marcus Broyles turned this program around quicker than you thought they would?
I mean, this is their fifth straight win. No, I mean, when Marcus took Pell to the state championship game in 2016.
Right.
No, they've settled. They've handled that. They learn how to win. They know how to win. They just did what they had to do to win tonight. I mean, it wasn't pretty at moments, especially in the second half when they were going 3-and-out, left and right in the third quarter. So that was kind of interesting because Brandon's defense is really good. They're not going to wow you size-wise, but they play really hard, and they'll always be in the game.
Yeah.
As long as their defense is around.
George, is there any game that you would like to ask Brandon about whether he's surprised or not?
Yeah, let's talk about Oxford and Germantown. That was an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, Germantown's up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and kind of let it slip away. And Oxford obviously sends the games to overtime, scores touchdown, and then went for 2 to win it. I think Knox Kiffin threw the 2-point conversion throw. So.
Yes, he did.
So there's that. Now Oxford's 2-0 in Region 2 7A. They're the only undefeated team in the region. No, they're the only 2-0 team in Region 2 7A. And back to Petal. Petal's the only 2-0 team in Region 3 7A. And their 2 wins are Oak Grove and Brandon, and both on the road. That was a statement in itself. So that was a statement in itself. Oxford, you beat Germantown, you've beaten Madison. And now you got to go. You still got Clinton and Oxford, or Clinton and Starville left. And so those are obviously 2 big games left, but 2-0 in region play in those regions
is massive.
Awfully big.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you got to feel like you're in a driver's seat at 2-0.
Oh yeah, now you're in the driver's seat to host to get to the hosting part of the playoffs and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a good way to start off region play.
Well, anybody else, George? I was thinking about the Clinton game. They're still trying to figure out them.
28-7, Starkville kind of, I don't want to say handled them, but it was pretty much all Starkville. So, and now Clinton and Oxford play. Now Clinton's 1-1, so Starkville's 1-1 after last week. So, those for the 3 and 4 spots in Region 2 7A is going to be interesting to see how it plays itself out.
What about Northwest Rankin and Pearl? I mean, in Rankin County, Pearl there for a while was just, they had a really good, the program was just winning, year in and year out, and they've really struggled the last couple of years.
Well, last year, given benefit of the doubt, they're the starting quarterback, was out all year with an ACL injury. So, give them benefit of the doubt. This year's just, at some points, I'd like to tell their coach, if you could only have last year's defense, because Pearl's defense last year was really good.
Yeah.
They kept him around, especially that defensive line. they wrecked havoc. No matter who they were playing, they gave problems.
But they had a hard time scoring, though.
They had a hard time scoring and had problems turning the ball over. So, it is what it is. I mean, that's just how it was. I mean, Pearl this year, you know, now they're one in region play, and 3-7A. Not all is lost. Now they're going to have to sneak away. They're going to somehow play Petal next week at Petal, so that's going to be a tough one. Then they got Brandon and then Oak Grove to finish the year. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well.
Well, listen, man, we're going to wrap it up with you. We appreciate your insight. Do you have any idea where you'll be next week?
I think Oxford at Clinton next Friday.
Yeah, because that should be a good one. That should be a good one. Well, enjoy your football weekend, my friend, and we will talk to you in this normal time slot next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All righty. Well, Brandon kind of covers the state, doesn't he?
Yeah, and the thing about it is he just he knows a little bit about everybody, every team.
Yeah.
So that's a
well. You know, he works. You know, Chris Brooks has that magazine,
right?
And Brandon goes out during the summer and talks to all these coaches and gets the skinny on who has what and all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting to get his take on what he knew at the beginning of the season and the way the season is breaking out.
Right.
So, a team that interests me is Clinton.
I mean, I think they really kind of got out of the box strong early.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, some of their weaknesses against these really good teams, some of their weaknesses just get magnified a little bit. They're just really young on the offensive side of the ball. In the backfield, they're really, really young.
But they're good.
Talented, but
Yes.
they're young, and they make mistakes and ends up costing a ball game.
Well, enjoy your football Saturday.
I'm going to try.
Big thanks to everybody that participated in the show, and especially all the folks that made it financially possible to do this. And a big thanks to MPB Think Radio and Marissa, who's back over my shoulder here, and Ty Bailey on the phone, and our producer, Chris Saxon. For George, this is Russ saying so long from Friday night under the lights.